Hey, AFTERBUZZers, we are tuning in for Scorpion's mid-season finale, their holiday finale. We're going to talk about it all. It was like a Home Alone Part 3, kind of, Part 4, whatever. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes.
Home Alone.
The theme song to Home Alone. Because that's kind of what the episode was about.
Yes, we got a tweet from JustCuz07. Said intro song ideas. Dramatic Me says Jaws theme. Festive Me says Home Alone theme will do.
Dramatic Me says Jaws theme. I like that.
So funny.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV. You're tuning in for episode 11 of Scorpion Season 3, Wreck the Halls. And I'm wearing my hat to be festive.
Yeah.
My Victoria's Secret pink holiday hat. I've had this for years, by the way. Like, this, I can't even remember. I think I got it in high school. I think I got it senior year of high school.
That's a lot of years.
That's like 10 years.
Yep.
Because now the Victoria's Secret one has little gems on it. And I don't want that. I just want a plain pink Santa hat. And I have that. Hi, everybody. I am Monse Bolanos. Thanks for tuning in. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. And across from me, obviously, Susannah Kim.
Obviously.
Obviously.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Susannah_Kim, SUSANNAH_KIM.
Excellent.
Thanks.
You think that I don't know how to spell Kim?
You know, it's tricky sometimes. They could think I'm saying kin. You don't know.
Right.
So it's M as in Mary, you guid. You're welcome.
Ah, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
M as in Monse.
M as in Monse, right. Exactly. What'd you think of the episode?
It felt like a holiday episode.
Totally. 100%. It was kind of like, let's make this fun. Let's just wrap it up and do this holiday theme.
Right.
I liked it. Like, it wasn't bad, but...
It didn't bother me as much as some of the other episodes
Right.
are. I know some people were pretty, like, disappointed by the episode, I think. But then there were some people that said they loved it, because since it was, like, a Christmas episode.
For sure. And I think that's what they were trying to do. They were like, let's do a Christmas episode. Because it didn't feel like a mid-season finale. There was nothing about it where it was like, oh, we're not coming back for a couple weeks.
Right, yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, I don't think they were trying to do anything special or
right,
crazy.
I don't think they were trying to do any of that. But I enjoyed it. I liked it. It wasn't anything crazy, you know. But it was cute. It was fun. There were things about it I really liked. One thing, how is Tim going away? I'm so confused. Because this wasn't like a bye-bye, Tim.
Yeah.
It really wasn't.
No.
Especially, like, obviously, they established that he's going to leave Scorpion and he's going to take the security job over in the Middle East. But they say it's only 8 months. And, you know, Paige is like, yeah, we'll get through it. We'll Skype every day. And at the end of the episode, he literally says, I'm just glad Paige is 100% on board.
Right.
So, what?
So, I mean, he's going to go away, and then, you know, things are going to get confusing because Paige and Walter's... I mean, I assume Walter's going to put in, like, 200% into trying to impress her, even more so than... I mean, Tim was right there, and he's still blatantly trying to make an effort with Paige, you know?
Which
so,
is
obviously,
hilarious.
with Tim out of the picture, he's going to go all for it.
I just...
Gung-ho.
You know, I don't like that. I wish Paige would have been like... Yeah, or that it's not an 8-month thing, that it's like a legit, like he's got to go forever or whatever.
Right.
And that it was just like, this isn't going to work because Ralph needs to stay here. Like,
They just, like, left it up in the air.
end it.
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't, I wanted it to be like, oh, we're coming back and Tim is gone. Like, it's clear.
I get what you mean. I think they just didn't want to make it so easy for Walter and Paige to just get together now, you know? I think they still want to have some sort of obstacle. You know,
I mean, the obstacles are always going to be there. You know what I mean,
Right.
Tim? The obstacles are always going to be there. But it was just, I don't know. Like, I hate that. So now are we never going to see Tim again?
No, he'll be back.
He'll be back. So it's like, how long are you going to keep...
I mean, maybe he dies over there. We don't know.
Tim and dying. It's just what you want. And I think honestly that was my biggest pet peeve on this whole episode. Because I really was expecting to end this year, this awful 2016. I mean,
Awful?
for lots of people. Like, I feel like most people aren't like, oh, 2016 was great.
Really? Oh, dude, I had the best year.
I
Pretty
feel
great
like
year,
you
yep.
are-
I love my life.
I feel, that's not, but just in general, all of the stuff that happened 2016, all of the, you know, it's just like, let's move on, let's forget about Tim. I'm throwing pens because I hate Tim. let's forget about Tim and move on. And that's what I wanted to happen, and it didn't. So I was a little disappointed. But aside from that, the episode was entertaining. We start in the garage like always. It's Christmas Eve, and they're headed to the cabin, and they're gonna do a real celebration with no cell phones, no laptops, no technology.
Sure.
Is basically what they have established.
Sure.
But you know, it's really cute, like watching Paige handle the geniuses when they talk about Tetris and packing.
Yeah.
That was all adorable. Watching Toby get Happy's gift ready, the sparkling mic, which was a gift she wanted when she was in foster care or in the
fourth grade or 4 years old or something. And that she was never able to get that. So like, very cute all at the beginning, you know, they're getting ready to go to the cabin. And this is instantly, like in the first 5 minutes, when they give Ralph the gift, or Paige is like, here, it's from Grandma, it's a rocket, whatever. And I instantly thought, I was like, so is Paige ever going to find out about their previous relationship between Ralph and Veronica, her mom? Yeah, no, probably not.
You think that?
I think that was just like a small thing for the audience, or, you know.
And now we just moved on?
Yeah.
No me gusta.
Yeah?
No me gusta.
I mean, I don't know how much of a difference that would make, though, do you think?
For Paige to know that Ralph has spoken to her mother, who she's hated for years.
Yeah.
I think it's a big deal.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it's like a very interesting storyline between Ralph and Paige. Something like, it's always
I don't think she's going to, like, hold it against him. You know what I mean? He's a little kid. Of course he's going to want to connect with his grandma. Maybe she might have more resentment towards her mom, maybe. But I don't know. She already hates her mom. So it's like,
I know. It's just then don't give us.
Don't
that
bring
story.
it up.
Don't bring that up, because it just makes me feel like there is lies between them, more lies between them. When obviously there's a lot of lies between Veronica and Paige, but between Paige and Ralph, that's more of what's bothering me.
Right.
And it's like that was. I feel like you're right. Like, it's just not going to be talked about again. And I was like, okay, so why did you even bring this up?
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting storyline that could have, you know,
they missed
led
it
to something. And then it doesn't seem like they're going to bring it back. And if they do, that's going to be weird. Because it's like, why are you bringing it back? And now, you know what I'm saying? But before they head off to the cabin, I thought it was very funny when Walter gives Tim his office.
Yeah. Office.
His office.
In quotation marks.
I mean, there's a door.
His closet, yeah.
Walter doesn't have a door.
Yeah, he's got privacy. And he can have people wait outside the elevator, and they can push the button when they need Tim. That would be awesome.
So there's no. So does his desk move? Do they use that?
Yeah,
elevator?
no, I don't think so. Yeah, it looked like just a lift. Maybe it's
really
not like an electric elevator.
Right.
It's probably just like a.
Yeah, it's like, why are you getting offended?
And you don't know when that's gonna fall.
At all. And that desk, it was like, Walter, you can't even fit.
Yeah.
You think Tim's gonna fit? I thought that was hilarious. But it's funny because watching Walter, like, I feel like I believe him when he thinks, like, this is a good thing. What do you mean?
Right.
Like,
he seemed kind of genuine.
He did.
But then later in the end, he's like, no, I was like, you know.
Which is shocking because when he was doing it, like, I believed him.
Right,
I believed him that he was genuinely, like, trying to be nice.
He's a good actor, I guess.
Man.
He's learning. Learning to lie.
He is learning to lie.
Yeah.
And they do head off to the cabin very quickly because they're trying to avoid traffic. But Happy and Sly are going to meet them at the cabin. Because Happy is helping Sylvester campaign so that he can be the
alderman
of Althenia,
West
whatever that is. And they're dressed up to the T in their holiday get-ups. She's an elf. He's a Santa Claus. And it just doesn't... It's like, why are you doing this?
I still don't get that whole storyline.
Me too.
I don't get the point of it. I don't like it. It's not interesting to me. It's not exciting.
Out of all the storylines that you could carry on.
Right.
Episode to episode. So you pick this one?
And why do like this whole election thing now? If you were going to do this, maybe do it when it was relevant, when we had an election going on, guys. Right? The election's over. No one cares. Everyone's real depressed about what's, about like voting and stuff.
Right.
Like it's just, we don't need to talk about it anymore.
Right.
And he's running and campaigning. Like I'm so tired of listening or talking about campaigning and stuff,
You know, I didn't even think about that, but you're probably right. That's probably what it is why we don't like it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're giving us a topic we really don't want to think about when it comes to real life.
Right. If this was before and they can make it relevant to the actual election and stuff, that would make sense. But why are you doing this now?
Why are you doing? And
I'm so uninterested.
And something so why? I wish it was like he's running for city council.
Yeah, something we don't care about. We don't even know what it is.
Right. Why can't you run for city council
Exactly.
like Claire in Modern Family?
What are you doing? Yeah.
And lose. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
even if it was like PTA or just like something.
But we can't relate to it.
Yeah, anything.
So, like, it's, I agree.
Or something like Megan related, or, you know, like they just dropped the whole Megan thing.
Something. The only good thing that came out of that was the costumes. The fact that Toby liked Happy's costume.
Right, yeah, that was cute.
That was funny. And they established the whole gift thing where you could tell, where she was like, I'm only doing this because you're making my gift for Toby.
Oh, right.
But still, it was like, why? Why? Why are you doing this? There was a cute moment between Sylvester and Happy when, like, later on in the episode, and she tells him, like, just be yourself. Like, you started this way. You're Santa Claus now. Cabe wants to put you in a tie. Just be yourself.
And she's like, I like the original Sly, you know?
And she's like, and I don't like
so
many
cute.
people.
Yeah.
Like, that whole thing was adorable. But the whole running...
Yeah, I just don't. I hope they would wrap. I wish they would just wrap that up.
Wrap that up.
Right? There's so many other storylines that they just like ran through that I wish they would have taken their time on. And this, they're just dragging out.
Yeah, I agree. And there was things about this episode where I was like, you rushed through this. So much happened.
Quick. Yeah, there were people on Twitter saying that. Like, there was just not much of the mission going. Like, there was no mission pretty much, you know?
And it was super interesting because, like, remember last week I was like, I'm really upset at the preview because it was like Home Alone. This is it.
Right.
And very early on, it was like, oh, there's actually a problem that they're gonna have to, you know, deal with some bad guys. So like, at the beginning, I was very interested in the episode, and then it was like you're going through so much so fast, like so many things that I wish I would have gotten a little bit more time with. So at the cabin, we're at the cabin. Let's start officially with the mission, even though it wasn't really a mission this episode. They're at the cabin, and so Toby's main goal is to make this the best Christmas for Happy, making cookies, setting up the decoration, all this cute stuff, and obviously you need a tree. Not an artificial tree, according to Cabe. So Cabe,
Old school Cabe.
Old school Cabe.
And real quick, I want to shout out the people that are in it. We have a lot of people in our chat.
Thanks,
Liam,
guys.
Yeah, I love it.
And ladies.
Guys,
Very,
gals. Yeah,
you know?
2016. Liam Harold, Ivan Soto per usual, Maria Luisa Luriero. I'm usually really good at names, but I can't do this one. Luriero. Thank you guys, Floral Capacity. Who else we have here? Stephen Godina, of course. Love you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
There's a lot of chat going on here. This episode sucked. I'm seeing a few things going on. Yeah, okay. So, anyways.
I didn't think this episode sucked.
Yeah,
I think there are worse episodes.
Right. I think it,
you know,
I think I let a lot of the stuff slide because I'm kind of in the Christmas spirit and like holiday spirit. So I'm like, okay, I like some of the stuff going on.
Right.
I just wish they would have had more mission, more like a regular episode. It just didn't seem. It felt like a vacation episode. You know.
I'm with you. I think I just accepted it that it was going to be the holidays. And that was it. But if this would have been, you know, mid-September, I've been like, this is a terrible episode. So at the cabin, off to get a tree, we get Cabe, Ralph, Tim, and Walter to go get a tree. The only thing I liked about that was Cabe and Ralph's knife talk. Like,
oh yeah, and
all of that.
Cute.
That was
all the way to the end.
All the way to the end. That was literally one of the best storylines that we got the whole episode. Yeah. Possibly the season. That was so adorable. You know, he starts off with the knife and cutting the like apple, like everything about that.
Oh right, yeah.
I liked how Walter was like, I don't know if Paige would want this. Like everything about that dynamic. I thought this.
And
was
then him
adorable.
saying that made me nervous too. I was like, now, Walter, just because you said that, he's gonna cut himself now.
Yes,
you know?
100%.
Yeah.
And then there's like it was a little funny, you know, with Tim's lighter, and then they ask him. Well, Paige is like, oh, he got the lighter from his classmates because he was top in his class. And then Ralph's like, Walter, what did you get? You were top of the class. Wedgies. That was cute.
Yeah.
That was funny. Like all the like side stuff happening was cute and adorable.
Right, yeah.
But then the like main gritty stuff, it just happened so freaking fast.
I know. The action stuff.
The action stuff happened so freaking fast. I was like, man. So as they go off to get this real tree, that's where the problem starts. Some bad guys, some gun runners is what they call them. Gun runners seem to be taking down a a fellow good person.
A fellow good person.
That's what it seems like at the beginning.
Right,
Like a
yeah.
fellow good person. And it's funny how Walter was like, no, he's a good person. He's talking about his family. He seems really nervous. Like,
Oh, right.
And Tim is like, well, do we know he's a good person?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we figure it out before we go and jump in on these 3 guys who are about to shoot this one guy who's digging his own grave?
Mm-hmm.
I was
So
like,
Tim was right.
Yeah. And then I'm surprised it didn't come back up at the end of the episode.
Right, where he's like, I told you.
Or anything. Or even for Walter to be like, I kind of messed up. You were right. We should have taken it slowly or whatever. Nothing comes up about that. And I was like, seriously?
Yeah.
Clearly, that was like a big thing for me, at least. You know what I mean? Where it was like, Tim, who you don't claim is a real Scorpion, who you hate so much on the team, he was right. He was right in this moment.
Yeah.
And I was upset that they didn't bring that back, as much as I hate Tim. Because I hate that guy.
You gotta give him credit. Credit
Yeah.
where credit's due.
Exactly. Give him credit where credit is due. And they do talk about the desk. I mean, Tim does bring it up to Walter.
Yeah. And I like that there was finally that, like, okay, you guys, let's not keep doing this BS, you know? Like, we don't like each other. Let's just be real, you know?
Real. Right.
Yeah.
And that goes on even further, like, not to jump too much ahead, but when they're doing the whole Home Alone, the booby traps and stuff, and that fight breaks out between them, that whole conversation, where he straight up says, I've been pretending.
Yeah.
And you're never going to be a real Scorpion.
Yep.
Like,
He just gives it to him.
I
was surprised, kind of. Because he'd been, like, sidestepping around it so long, and he was just so genuine earlier in the episode when he was like, no, this is what I'm doing for you.
Yeah.
Isn't it good? You
Timbo
know?
and Wally. Yeah, it was just a lot of things that seemed out of place in the episode, out of normal.
And it's weird because I feel like it was just a couple episodes ago where, like, they were being so buddy. You remember that?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And I was confused by that too. And now it's just like all over the place.
All over the place, seriously.
Yeah.
So they do save this good guy, they think, Sam Roberts, who claims to be an undercover ATF. That's another thing. Y'all just believe him? Which I get it. He knew somebody who Cabe knew.
Yeah.
But Toby, I don't know, like, so
you feel like Toby should have caught it, but I like that they put that in, that they addressed it. They were like, why didn't Toby catch this? And he had a valid reason, or he had some reason at least. So I like that they addressed it, because I would have been upset.
Right, because he says, he's like, you guys didn't lie. You believed that he was telling the truth, so there was nothing to catch. Like, I get all that. But they save Sam Roberts, and obviously they head over to the cabin. In the cabin, we have everybody else who hasn't gone to the tree. So everybody's at the cabin at this point. And they bring in this guy who's been shot by one of the gun runners. And they get to the cabin, but it turns out the bad guys are going to find them too, because they've lit a fire inside the cabin. Of course they've lit a cabin. And it's of course they lit a fire. I was shocked. I was like, it all happened so fast. So there's like a fire, and then all of a sudden, here it comes in rushing everybody. Guys, we're in a problem. Okay, and then the next 10 minutes are all this action, and then it's over.
Yeah. That's what I was disappointed in. I like that it's a holiday episode. I like that the team's together. I like the idea of them trying to do the whole perfect holiday thing. I kind of almost, I don't know. I just wasn't having the whole mission thing.
Yeah.
And like usually, okay, and also that's the thing too. We usually get more like genius-y stuff, you know, like more things. I feel like we had a couple things, you know, Walter talked about the salt or whatever, he was boiling something. And then what else did they do? That was like genius-y, you know, like I feel a lot of it was just like
the explosion with Tim's lighter, and then the can, that small explosion. But you're right, it was also, it just happened too fast for me. It all just happened too fast. And the beginning of the episode was very slow paced, so that to then speed it up and then slow pace it again, it was just weird. It was just a weird way to do the episode. Because like up until when the bad guys get there and they're like, okay, Paige, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna talk to him. All of that was real slow. You know, like the guy walks in, he's like, I'm looking for my dog. And, you know, I liked shot.
That, yeah.
Where he's standing and they're both standing on the edge of the door with something to hit him. All that.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked that it didn't work and he kind of backed out and got away.
Totally.
I liked all of that.
All of that.
I think what really got to me was when they started taking him out and they're like, 1 down, 2 down, 3 down. And they just went one after another. It's like, That's it. You know, you totally could have spread that out. You know, you could have done some of like the prepping in between. You know what I mean? Like they do a little more prepping, you know? Like, I don't know. It's just too easy.
I agree with you. And what was annoying about that is like, okay, so this guy saw the Homeland plate and backed out. So the first guy gets taken by the doorknob and then everyone just goes in anyway?
Right. Yeah.
I'm so confused. You think they would be like, let's take a moment. Let's back up. These guys know what they're doing type of thing. But no, they still just one at a time take them down. Mm-hmm. They straight up say, like, let's Home Alone their asses. It was...
yeah, that was a little cheap for me.
Come on, man. Come on.
I mean, I get it, you know? Mm-hmm. And maybe it would have been weird if they didn't address it, you know?
Right, because it was so clearly that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like that the person who broke the technology rule was technically Paige with her phone.
Right, yeah.
I liked
out of her boot. She knew she was hiding it. Yeah.
Right. Out of everybody, it was like, I'm so glad it's Paige. Uh-huh. And what about Walter's gift to Paige? Mm-hmm. A laptop that he claimed. It was a $50 Secret Santa
Technically
gift.
It was free.
Technically
he had the parts. Labor's free. That was so funny when he gave that to him. I was like, I mean, that's true.
It's so true.
You know?
And then the desktop picture that he put in for her.
Oh, yeah.
Of Team Scorpion.
With the books.
The books in front of Tim's face.
Right.
That was funny.
Right.
That was
hilarious. And so blatantly pointed out, like, oh, is that photoshopped, you know?
Toby! This whole episode, I felt
Toby.
like Toby was such... you know, a bad guy to, like, his friend. Like, as a friend. It's like, I'm going to call you out on all the crap you're doing in front of everybody. I'm going to call you out on this and this. And it's like, since when do you care about fresh trees? Oh, I worked in a farm.
Oh, right, yeah.
Farm. Like, that to the picture, literally. I was like, Toby, you are sucking this whole freaking episode.
I think that's when you know that you're real friends, though, you know? When you can just, like, make one of your friends and give them all the time.
And that whole laptop is really what causes the confrontation between Tim and Walter. And that's when they kind of get into it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he's like, you will never be a real Scorpion member. Walter tells him that he resents him not only because of Paige, but because of Ralph. Because of how close he's gotten to Ralph. Mm-hmm. When it's like, he says, like, I'm the person. Like, we're more alike than you are. Or he says something along those lines. Like, he should be closer to me versus you.
Yeah.
And it's like, and at the beginning, and then when they're looking for the tree, and then Ralph is like, or when they're trying to take the guy back to the cabin, and Ralph's like, oh, I made markers, or like I did the markings. I remember where we are. Tim taught me.
Right.
Like dropping that in.
Yeah.
Like, it's I mean, it's true.
And it's so complicated too, you know?
Very
it's like, because we want to think that like, yeah, of course Ralph and Walter are a better fit together, but for Walter to kind of say it, I was like, something about it was icky. Right. I didn't like it. Something about it was just not humble. I have to make this, Ivan Soto keeps writing this down to make it real clear. He's saying, I really want to be crystal clear. I hated the episode because of the love triangle stuff, which we're talking about, not the episode itself. He's like, I want to make it super clear. He keeps putting it over and over to us, the panelists. That's why he didn't like it.
To a sense, we agree with you, like totally. And what we enjoyed the most, they didn't give us enough of that, which was the whole. If you're gonna make this a Home Alone episode, don't make it 7 minutes
of just Home Alone, like of 7 minutes of that.
Maybe it was 5 minutes. Maybe, like you said, it was take all 5 of them down.
Yeah.
Like, don't give us that preview and then that's not our episode. Because it would have been fun to really watch them booby trap, like, in detail and, like, one by one.
Yes. It could have been... how long is Home Alone? Home Alone's, like,
2
what, an
hours?
hour? Yes. Right? They could have really stretched it out.
They literally did it, I think, in, like, 5 minutes.
Granted, they did do the whole, like, dang it, what's that movie with Halle Berry? The Call thing? Where where Ralph is in the trunk of the car.
Right.
And then... So they added that. That was a little more action, a little bit more of the mission, sort of, because the guy ends up being a bad guy or whatever, you know?
Right.
So I give it to them for that.
Yeah.
At least.
I mean, at least. The other mission-y stuff that they did was connect the laptop with the signal because it didn't have any signal.
Right.
So they do, like, connect to the nearest police station or whoever they're trying to get in contact with. and it leaks into the walkies that the bad guys have, which
course.
they're aware of. They're like, if this happens, if this works,
we'll know.
They'll know that who we are, because they're gonna hear this type of thing. But literally, instantly after that is when they start taking the bad guys down, and it's like one down with the doorknob, one down with the salt explosion. The cabin gets shot up completely, including Toby's gift to Happy, which he had put like aside.
Right.
The third guy down with the rocket. That's what I'm trying to say. And then Tim like takes the gun, like steps on his hand. The fourth guy gets knocked out of the kitchen, and then the fifth guy gets taken down with Cabe's help in the bowling ball.
Just too easy.
That was funny when he's like, when he says something about the spare,
yeah.
whatever. The best part, my favorite line, was when he says that and Happy responds, "You ruined Christmas."
Yeah.
That was hilarious. All of that was really, really funny, but so quick.
I know, so quick, and I felt like they were taking a long time with the whole computer message thing. When it's like, shouldn't you be doing some other stuff right now? You know, you guys are kicking it around this laptop trying to get this message through. There are 5 guys outside, you know, coming at you
with so many guns, and you have none.
Right.
Like everything up.
Right. It was just too easy.
I wish it would have been like when Paige pulled out the phone from her ankle. I wish Cabe and Tim would have been like, "Oh great, we have the guns in the car."
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like,
that would have been funny actually.
You know, you got perfect. We actually do have
everyone cheated.
Everyone cheated, or like it would have been great if almost everyone cheated, and then like Walter doesn't, and like, you know, but.
Yeah.
So many things. Anyways. So they have all the bad guys in a circle, and we find out that Sam is not an undercover agent.
Yeah.
He's one of them who's trying to take their money. So they're trying to kill him. So Walter, you were wrong. He was a bad guy.
Yeah.
And Tim was right. And he takes off with Ralph as a hostage. Now, this whole thing, I liked all this. Again, so fast.
Yeah.
Right? Like, literally, the only reason it seemed a little longer than taking down the bad guys is because they went to a commercial halfway through this chase.
Right.
That's literally the only reason it felt a little longer. But it was way too fast. Because I enjoyed, like, again, I love Catherine McPhee. She's so good as an actress. But, like, no, there's no but. She's so good as an actress. Like, when Sam takes Ralph, and she's like, "He has Ralph," and she takes off, like, it was like, she, you know, to see her jump to that, like, you believe her. And that mom mode runs to the car. Now here I'm like, Tim, why aren't you running after her?
Yeah.
Why aren't you running with her? Who runs? Walter.
Of
and even jumps in the car when it's moving.
Of
like,
course.
she's not even waiting for him.
She's got shit to do right now.
She's gotta go get her. That,
right?
I love that whole thing. I love that it wasn't Tim. Because I'm thinking, Tim, why didn't you go? As in, like, that's your girlfriend. You should be there. But I don't like you, so I'm glad you didn't go. And I'm glad that it was Walter that jumped to it.
I wish they would have made a point of that, though.
Yes, and it
wasn't addressed, yeah.
I wish at the end, just to, like, for Paige to have been like, why didn't you you follow me?
What were those instincts, you
what
know?
were those, you know, you saw, like, her, you know, her terror, the terror in her voice and how she ran.
Or her even just to show appreciation for Walter, to be like, thank you for jumping on that so quickly, you know? Yeah. Maybe she doesn't have to bring it up to Tim, but to Walter, something. Just acknowledge it would have been nice, yeah. And I don't like that she was like, oh, something about, like, you know, I'm gonna do something to him once I catch him, you know what I mean, about the bad guy. But then when she does get to him, I wish she would have done something with her, like, kick him or something, you know. I was like, oh, you know, I was a little disappointed by that, but, you know, like, that was a small thing,
because she did say that I wish she would have, like, maybe not kicked him, but, like, where his injury was, like, punched him where his gunshot was, or
like slam the door on him, or I don't know, something. Anything, but
something. All of the things I really liked was Happy, to be honest with you, in this episode, when they have all the bad guys, and so they're chasing after Ralph or whatever, and then Tim is like, just, if you think of doing something, I'm a pissed off Navy SEAL, and even I'm scared of her. That was funny. I enjoyed all of that. But Cabe and Toby head off behind them in Cabe's car to help in case this becomes an interrogation hostage situation type of thing. And that's where it's like, hold on, you guys all have your comms in your ears all of a sudden?
Yeah, that's what...
Hold up, time out. Hold on.
Me too.
How are you all talking? I'm real confused.
Me too.
And nothing was said of, like, here's comms.
Nope.
Like, and usually
they wouldn't have had them
that
because they were cheating.
Right.
Or, I mean, because they weren't, you know.
But you know how usually they do that? How usually they'll
at least
say,
dropping
like,
a line.
Hey, put your comm out. Here's your comm. Hide your comm. Something. And this one, it was like y'all in two different cars. Unless they were talking with the talkies. No, right? They didn't establish that with the walkie-talkies from the bad guys. Like, it wasn't established.
If anyone knows how they were talking.
If that was the case, it wasn't established right. It wasn't clear. I literally was like, how are you guys talking in two different cars?
Yeah.
I'm so freaking confused.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
And then even, like, when Walter... I mean, obviously, Walter was talking to Ralph, like, mouthing to Ralph, like, close the trunk. You know what I'm talking about? When he tells him to close the trunk. I was like, wait, does Ralph have a comment in his ear all of a sudden?
Right?
No, you know, he's like, close the trunk or whatever. And Ralph gets it. I was like,
there was no hand gestures.
Yeah, it was like maybe a little bit. But yeah, he was just like, and I was like, really? He got that? Okay.
Yeah.
Luckily, Ralph's a genius.
Seriously. So Ralph gets taken, and he gets like his hands are tied behind his back by this dude, which is another thing. It's like, I wish we would have seen how Sam tied Ralph's hands, because Ralph's not a dumb boy. Clearly.
Yeah.
Ralph is not stupid.
Right.
So it's like, how did Sam convince him to let him wrap his arms and didn't scream anything? All of that. We should have seen a little bit.
Real quick, the guys were wrapped up in Christmas lights. Really? Is that what we're believing?
Yeah.
The Christmas lights held those guys together down, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many...
That was annoying. But anyways.
But Ralph's thing really annoyed me. It was like, show me that. I wish he wouldn't have been tied, because then it was... But it was like, how did you get from wherever they were hiding in the house, whatever room, Ralph didn't scream the whole time until he got to the outside?
Yeah. Right?
Like, he should have been taped. He should have been taped, so that made more sense, where at the end you hear, like, screaming type of thing. But, like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
How? We should have seen a little bit of that. Just a little bit. So that we could, you know, like...
Yeah, I feel ya.
So they're on the chase. They're in the car. Ralph's hands are tied behind his back, but he has Cabe's knife. And so easily just...
And I love that. That was cute.
That was adorable. And he sneaks into the trunk, and they talk about it. They're like, this is the perfect place for him, because if there's an impact, there's anything, he's in a small, compact spot. The chances of survival are much higher. So it was like, that's right. He's smart. I like that they addressed all that. But, like, literally, he's in the trunk, and then they're like, close the door, whatever. And I think they go on a quick commercial. Like, the chase has been going on for 45 seconds.
Right.
Go on a commercial. Come back, and then literally 45 seconds, and it's over.
Yeah.
And then Walter tells Paige, oh, you're going to get scared because there's going to be a tree log or, like, a branch or something. Like a tree that's broken, something that is going to hit the car. And then that's how they win. All of that. Like...
Yeah.
I wish, you know.
I know, that was too easy.
So easy.
And it wasn't anything that they did. They didn't do anything to stop the guy.
Not at all.
He just happened to know that there was a log falling there.
Yep.
You know, maybe if they led him into that path, you know, that would have made sense.
Well, Walter does say he's not going to remember, because remember he was shot, and he says that that's where they were sitting.
Right.
So he does say he just doesn't remember, because that's where they sat down when he needed a moment, because he was shot.
But still, they didn't put the tree there, you
know?
know?
They didn't.
Like,
I agree.
Yeah.
I wish it would have been like Cabe, because at this point, you guys have guns. You took the bad guy's guns.
Yeah.
How are you not shooting the tires?
Yeah.
And then, fine, use the tree log to, like, make the car stop, but... You literally did nothing.
Right.
Like, if that...
I mean, they probably wouldn't shoot the car because Ralph's in there. But yeah.
But the tire... You know what I mean?
Right,
Shoot the tires. I'm sure
really
Tim
good aim.
should have good aim to shoot the freaking tires.
That's true. Navy SEAL.
Exactly. Navy SEAL. Like, shoot one tire to, you know, cause whatever, something to stop. But it all happens so fast, and then he, like, hits the trunk, and then he gets out, and he's like, stand back, I have a hostage. And then he doesn't. And then he just runs to... Paige's arms. Yes.
The end.
That silence says a lot. Seriously, like, from when you start taking the bad guys down to kidnapping Ralph, which I wasn't expecting. I was completely shocked about the whole kidnapping Ralph. Why wasn't it a little longer?
Yeah.
Why, you know, there's so many things you could have cut out. So many... The whole thing with like Sylvester and Happy at the campaign, we didn't see any of that.
Yeah, we didn't need it.
We didn't need it. Why?
It was just for the costume.
It was just, and that's fine, but like you could have made it shorter because it was still a little long. Like watching Happy try to campaign and like smack that guy and then throw it. Like you still showed it too long. You could have literally shown 3 seconds.
Or just said that they went. You know, that's where they're coming from. So they're in the costume. You didn't even need to show them. We don't care clearly about the election. Just say that they went. That's fine. That's cool.
And expand it. Like, honestly, I was completely taken off guard with Ralph's kidnap. Completely taken off guard. I was not expecting that. Like, I was super shocked by it.
I mean, I knew the guy was going to be a bad guy.
For sure.
So I was like,
I knew that too. But I didn't think he would take Ralph.
Yeah.
I thought he would escape.
Right.
And, like, that's, you know.
Right. How annoying that Ralph was down there by himself with that guy, too. And Toby's like, Ralph's being a very brave boy. Okay. That's all? That's it?
Ah.
Cool.
I also did write, Cabe yells like he's never yelled before. When he tells, like, get down on your knees.
Oh, yeah.
When they had Ralph, and he's, like, pointing the gun. I was like, man.
Yeah, you better get down.
Yeah,
get down.
Cabe's real upset right now. You better get on that. But it's just so quick.
Yeah.
It was just so quick.
I know.
And then they head back to the garage. And then we have the really special moment between Cabe and Ralph. And where he asks, that was adorable, like the whole knife thing, you know, because he gives it back. And then he puts a little, like, bow on it and gives it back to him. And it's like, Paige is like, you can't have that.
Right.
And then what he says, I've always wanted to give this to my grandson.
Yeah.
May I?
I know.
So cute.
And I thought that was cute, but I feel like it would have been not cooler, but like it would have like maybe cooler, whatever, if it came from Tim, you know, and Tim gave him this knife, and now he's using this knife to use like in the mission to like get out, you know, because they're doing that whole thing with like Tim and Ralph, you know. I feel like that would have been, you know, like why? Like I get it, like yeah, Ralph and Cabe have this relationship now or whatever, but for sake of what they were trying to do with the whole love triangle thing and like the whole like Walter saying like I'm more like him, Tim could have made his point. It's like, sure, you're more like him, but he needs to learn these other things because he's, you know, like he's not a genius. I mean, he is a genius, so like, you know, where else is he gonna learn to use a knife and you know, and that kind of stuff. So I felt like that would have been a nice easy way to do that, but it's cute with the whole Cabe thing.
I don't agree. Just because, like, let's say, you know, hypothetically speaking for the future, that knife comes back up and Tim's out of the picture.
Yeah.
At least now it's not associated with Tim, and it's associated with somebody else.
Yeah, but see, I would have liked that. I like that obstacle of it being like Tim's, and now Ralph kind of has this connection with Tim, and it's like, you know, it's a little bit of a challenge, I feel like. And because we already know Tim's freaking lingering in the you know, in the season. It's not like he's going away forever.
He's really,
you know, so it's like it makes sense to keep something in it that's like his, or like, you know, he's obviously still around, you know, and it would have been an easier reminder of Tim that he's still alive somewhere, coming back in 8 months. I
thought he was gonna the lighter. I actually thought that Ralph would end up with the lighter and the knife, to be honest with you. Yeah, but you know, I liked that it was Cabe, and I liked that it was addressed how Cabe said a grandson. Like, I think that's why it worked.
Yeah.
That's what was cute about it.
But it was very holiday, too.
Very holiday. But I did think that the lighter was going to end up, like, in Ralph's pocket.
Yeah.
Totally did. And when we lost the lighter. And Walter's like, sorry.
Sorry.
So good. But I liked it. I'm glad
it was
it's
sweet.
Cabe. I think
sweet.
it's more sweet that it's Cabe.
Right,
like, more touching. Because if it was Tim, I don't think it would be as touching and as holiday and as family and all that. It would still be like you said, you know,
we just made a point for that. Yeah.
Right. Totally. But I, you know, for the season, I like that it was Cabe, whatever. Happy gets her gift. I wrote Happy is so happy.
I loved it.
I love that I can write that. Happy is so happy. About Sparkling Mike. And it was so cute how her face, like she never smiles.
Yeah.
And in that scene, like it was like pure joy. It's like
automatically loved that it wasn't put together, you know, and I loved that, you know, because he was all feeling bad about it, and it worked. It was so perfect.
So perfect, and he didn't even think of that, of how she would want to build it.
Of course.
Like, come on, Toby, come on.
Yeah.
And so it was, you know, shooting it up worked out. Worked out. And then, like, we get her gift to him.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
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 Uh-huh.
That was
Needs
adorable. He does.
Uh-huh.
And she addresses it. She's
Right
and I like
away.
how she said it. I like how she was like, not my nature, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
because it's true. It's like, it's not her fault. Like, you can't hold it against her
Yeah, it's just how
necessarily.
she is.
It's just how she is. It's the way she was, you know, raised in it, all that. But it was cute that, like, that's what she gets. And he, you know, for Toby, it's perfect.
Right.
Like,
And for her to even acknowledge that, okay,
She does it.
I need to do it, so
Yep.
here,
Yep,
do it for yourself.
so cute.
Yeah.
So cute. And then Tim is looking at his desk, and that's where it's addressed that he's going to go. That he's going to take the job because he is not a little desk guy.
No.
Something that was, like, hinted in the episode between Toby and Paige, because Toby and Paige have a conversation while they're off trying to get the tree.
Yeah.
And she asks him, and he's like, oh, the desk?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, what's wrong with me? In a lot of ways, Tim's leaving because of Toby.
A little bit.
Toby's the one that planted that seed with Paige. If Paige had not said that to to Tim would not be like open to that. You know, he was ready to stay and stick his grounds and Scorpion. He didn't really recognize that he's not a small desk guy, you know?
He's not. He's a leader, and in this Scorpion role, he can't move up because it's Cabe for Homeland, so he's gonna be under Cabe, and he's gonna be under Walter under Scorpion.
I hadn't thought of that.
You know,
like I like that they
said
went
that.
back and
Right.
did that with that job. They're not going to bring up like a whole other opportunity, you know?
Right.
They're like, no, that
it's
was
like,
it.
This is what as far as you can go.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And he decides, you know, he's gonna go, and like they have this special moment, and they agree they're gonna make it work. And I was like, seriously, vomit. Okay. Then everyone says goodbye to him in such a like all, you know, when Toby, Sylvester, and Happy show up, and they're like, we hear you're leaving. That was quick. They literally just talked.
Yeah,
and turned the corner, and you already heard he's leaving. And he's leaving, and they have their moment, and they say their goodbye. They thank him. They're like, we're real difficult to work with, all of that. I found that a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Like, hold up. You're kind of backstabbing Walter a little bit. Like, I get what they were saying, but it was a little too touching for me.
Yeah?
Too much for me. I was like, you guys are talking about how, as geniuses, you're so standoffish, you're this, and that. Well, right now you're not.
Right. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and then Sylvester hugs him, who, like, never, you know, like, I don't know. I just thought it was a little too much.
Yeah.
That's all.
I get what you mean.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I liked the goodbye. I liked all that. And then Walter says goodbye
Yeah.
to him and tells him, like, you don't got to do this. I'm not perfect, but I can keep trying. It's like, Walter, what are you doing? Shut up.
Right?
Stop being
Didn't you guys just talk earlier where you were like, nah, this is what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah. And it was fine for him to say, I didn't mean this. And then, but that's it. Stop begging. Stop crying about it. That's what it bothered me. Because if it's like, if you were just like, I didn't mean to do this, I'm sorry, stay. And he's like, no. Then it's like, okay, great.
Right.
Well, I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah.
Shake your hand.
The thing about him, where is Veronica? Right? I mean, yeah, they mentioned her giving the gift to Ralph, but this is the holiday episode. This isn't when you want to bring in the mom. Are you kidding? You brought her in the last two episodes. We don't care. I did not like her.
I thought she should have shown up at the end.
Yes, something. It's the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it Christmas time?
Yeah.
Or
I know.
and she's staying at the garage. Doesn't she live there? Is she out late? Is she working? Is she conning someone else? What's happening? Right? Where is she?
Seriously.
Are you kidding? Why didn't she go to the cabin with them? It's the holidays. Grandma's not invited. Right?
Seriously. No, I'm with you. Out of all the episodes, this one she's not in at all.
Yeah.
She could have come in at the end.
So annoying.
And at the end, what do we get? To finish off the episode, Toby basically tells Walter, this is your fault. Paige is never going to forget that. You suck, Toby.
Yeah.
This whole
you're
episode,
right. Yeah.
I thought you sucked as a friend. Like, you sucked.
I think someone put that they felt like Toby was very against Wage, you know? Like he was fighting Wage this episode.
100%. I didn't like any of it. I didn't like any of it. And that's the episode.
Yep.
So, this is how we end the mid-season finale with a lot of mixed thoughts.
Right.
On the episode. Obviously, we're probably going to get a little bit of Tim. Possibly a little bit of Veronica.
Yeah.
When is it supposed? I think 2 weeks is what you said.
First week of January, I think, is when we're back.
All right, so not even that long, guys. We will be back
be
probably
wrong.
2 weeks. If we're wrong, maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be back. We're gonna see how this whole season ends for Scorpion. We appreciate you listening, tweeting, commenting, being here week after week, making it so it's not just Susannah and I, you know, because we talk alone a lot as it is. So we appreciate you guys being there with us, and we appreciate you kind of siding with us most of the time.
Yeah.
We're glad to know we're not alone.
Right, yeah.
And how much we hate Tim.
Yeah, the feelings are very general and very mutual. Everyone's feeling the same thing.
And how this whole episode was sped up way too much. But, you know, I have high hopes for the second half of season 3.
Yes.
I have high hopes. Let's see what's going to happen. Susannah, where can they find you while they miss you?
Find me and miss me at Susannah_Kim, SUSANNAH_KIM, as in Monse.
KIM, not N, KIM. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Monse Bolanos, MONSE_BOLANOS.
As in Susannah.
As in Susannah! That's hilarious. That's how we should do this all the time. That's our intro and outro. Guys, seriously, guys, gals, dogs, cats, fishes, whoever's listening to us and with us, seriously, we really appreciate it. Have a wonderful Christmas.
Yes.
If you don't have a wonderful end of December, if you
Happy
don't celebrate
holidays.
that, happy holidays, happy New Year.
Happy
We will
New
see
Year.
you 2017.
I think on the 4th. Yup. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.